Part 1. Why frustration owns most men. Frustration is not the problem, your relationship with it is. Two men can face the same obstacle. One breaks, the other becomes calm, almost dangerous. The difference is not strength, it is control. And the Stoics mastered it. If frustration keeps stealing your focus, your energy, your edge, this is the way out. Introduction. Frustration is a signal, not an enemy. Frustration is misunderstood. Most people think it means something is wrong with them. They feel it, then panic. They fight it, they complain about it, they let it control their behavior. The Stoics did the opposite. They treated frustration as information, a signal, a message, a moment asking one question: what part of this is actually under my control? Because frustration is born from one source only, the gap between expectation and reality. You expected life to move faster. You expected people to behave better. You expected results sooner. Reality did not comply. And that clash creates frustration. The Stoic does not curse this moment. He studies it. Rule number 1, never argue with reality. This is where most people lose. They argue with what already is. This shouldn't be happening. They should know better. I deserve more by now. The Stoics called this madness. Marcus Aurelius said it plainly. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. Reality does not negotiate. It does not care how fair something feels. The Stoic rule is simple. What has already happened is untouchable. The moment you argue with it, frustration multiplies. So the first discipline is brutal honesty. This is the situation, exactly as it is. No story, no emotion, no blame, just facts. Calm facts drain frustration of its power. The Stoic pause, where control returns. Here is the move most people never learn. When frustration hits, they react instantly. Voice raises, jaw tightens, words escape. The Stoic pauses, not because he is weak, but because he understands timing. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. That space is power. Epictetus taught this. It is not things themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them. The Stoic uses frustration as a trigger to slow down, not speed up. When irritation rises, he does 3 things. Stops speaking, slows his breath, names the emotion silently. I am feeling frustrated. That's it. No analysis yet, no action yet, just awareness. This interrupts the emotional spiral. Frustration feeds on unconscious reaction. Awareness starves it. Rule number 2, separate what is yours from what is not. This is the core Stoic weapon, the dichotomy of control. Some things are up to you, some things are not. Frustration comes from mixing the two. You try to control outcomes, people, timing, luck. The Stoic only controls his thoughts, his actions, his effort, his character. Everything else is borrowed. When frustration appears, the Stoic asks, what part of this is mine to handle? If the answer is nothing, he releases it. If the answer is something, he acts without emotion. This is why Stoics look calm under pressure. They do not waste energy wrestling the uncontrollable. They move directly toward the lever they can pull. Why most men stay frustrated? Because frustration feels justified. It feels righteous. I have a reason to be upset. They're wrong. This isn't fair. The Stoics warned against this trap. Justification does not solve problems, it prolongs them. Seneca wrote, how much more grievous are the consequences of anger than the causes of it? Frustration clouds judgment. It narrows vision. It pushes bad decisions. The Stoic understands something harsh. Being right does not equal being effective. He chooses effectiveness. The Stoic reframe, turn obstacle into training. This is where Stoicism becomes dangerous. The Stoic does not merely endure frustration. He uses it. Marcus Aurelius again, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Every frustration is training. Delays train patience. Resistance trains discipline. Disrespect trains emotional control. The Stoic reframes the moment. This is not blocking me. This is sharpening me. That mental shift alone dissolves half the frustration. Why? Because resistance feels unbearable when it is meaningless, but resistance becomes fuel when it has purpose. Practical Stoic exercise number 1, the view from above. When frustration feels overwhelming, the Stoics zoomed out. Literally, they imagined themselves from above, then their city, then the country, then the world. Your problem shrinks, your emotion softens, you realize something humbling. This moment is small, temporary, passing. Perspective kills intensity. Frustration thrives in narrow vision. Expand the frame and it fades. Why calm is the ultimate dominance. In a frustrated world, calm stands out. People follow the man who does not panic. Trust the man who does not complain. Respect the man who stays grounded. The Stoic is not calm because life is easy. He is calm because he is trained. Frustration no longer controls him. He controls himself. If this is sharpening your mind already, like the video. It tells the algorithm this message matters. Subscribe if you want more calm power, discipline, and Stoic mastery. And comment below. What frustrates you the most now? In part 2, we'll go deeper. How Stoics neutralize frustration in relationships, work, disrespect, and delayed success. And the daily rituals that make frustration powerless. Part 2. How Stoics master frustration in real life. Frustration in relationships, the Stoic response to disappointment. Nothing exposes frustration faster than people. You expect understanding, you meet indifference, you expect loyalty, you meet inconsistency, you expect effort, you meet excuses. This is where most men lose composure. They react emotionally, they argue, they explain, they demand. The Stoic does none of this. He remembers a hard truth Marcus Aurelius lived by. Begin the morning by saying to yourself, I shall meet with busybody, the ungrateful, arrogant, deceitful, envious, unsocial. Not pessimism, preparation. The Stoic does not expect people to behave ideally. He expects them to behave according to their nature. This single shift destroys frustration. When people disappoint him, he does not take it personally. He takes it predictably. And because he expected it, it does not disturb his inner balance. Rule number 3. Never demand from others what only character can provide. This is where frustration is born in relationships. You want consistency from inconsistent people, depth from shallow minds, discipline from emotional men. The Stoics warned against this. You cannot outsource peace. The Stoic approach is ruthless clarity. Appreciate people for what they are. Do not expect them to be what they are not. Expectation without evidence is self-sabotage. The Stoic chooses acceptance without attachment. He does not beg for behavior, he observes behavior, and then he adjusts his proximity accordingly. No drama, no speeches, just alignment. Frustration at work, when progress is slow. Delayed results crush most men. You work hard, you stay consistent, and nothing seems to move. Frustration whispers, what's the point? The Stoics train for this exact moment. Seneca said, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. But opportunity has terrible timing. The Stoic does not measure progress by outcomes. He measures it by effort executed daily. Why? Because outcomes are external. Effort is internal. The Stoic asks only one question at the end of the day. Did I act with discipline today? If yes, the day is a victory, regardless of results. This mindset makes frustration irrelevant. You stop chasing validation. You start stacking proof of character. The Stoic law of delayed justice. Here's something few people accept. Life pays late, but it pays accurately. Frustration comes when you expect immediate rewards. The Stoic expects delay. He understands that strength compounds silently. Skill matures unseen. Discipline builds in darkness. He works anyway, and because he detached from the timeline, frustration loses leverage. Frustration from disrespect, how Stoics handle insults. This is where ego collapses most men. A comment, a tone, a look. Suddenly emotion rises. The Stoic steps back. Epictetus was clear. If anyone tells you that a certain person speaks ill of you, do not make excuses about what is said of you, but answer, he was ignorant of my other faults, else he would not have mentioned these alone. Powerful, unshakable. The Stoic understands insults only work if you accept them. If someone disrespects you, the Stoic asks, is this true? If yes, improve silently. If no, ignore completely. Either way, frustration is unnecessary, because a man in control of himself cannot be controlled by another's mouth. Rule number 4, silence is a weapon. Frustration wants expression, complaining, arguing, explaining. The Stoic often chooses silence, not passive silence, strategic silence, because silence denies emotional fuel. It keeps power internal, it prevents regret, and it forces others to reveal themselves. Silence is not weakness, it is restraint, and restraint is dominance. The Stoic daily ritual that kills frustration. The Stoics did not rely on motivation, they relied on systems. Here is one ritual you can use immediately. Evening review. At night, ask 3 questions. Where did I lose composure today? What triggered my frustration? How can I respond better next time? No emotion, just correction. This trains emotional intelligence faster than any book. Frustration becomes a teacher, not a tyrant. Why Stoics welcome adversity? This is the final shift. The Stoic does not wish for an easier life, he wishes for a stronger mind. Every frustration becomes proof of progress. If life tests you, you are growing. If resistance appears, you are moving forward. Smooth paths build weak men. Friction builds masters. The Stoic endgame, inner untouchability. The goal is not a frustration-free life. That is impossible. The goal is this, to be internally untouchable, where delays do not disturb you, where people do not destabilize you, where outcomes do not define you. You move with calm certainty, not rushed, not reactive, not emotional, grounded. This is Stoic strength. If this changed how you see frustration, like the video. It helps this message reach men who need it. Subscribe for more Stoic discipline, emotional control, and quiet power. And comment below, which part of frustration do you struggle with most? People, delays, or disrespect? Train the mind, and frustration loses its grip.